Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to go over my first impression on Evelyn. To do that, we're going to use the YouTube post I created earlier today, and we're going to expand on some of the points. The first part is just a general overview of the unit where I said that she's a really good tank. I would say the best tank role unit that we have, because all the other ones have issues surviving. Evelyn is the first tank unit that can actually survive on her own really, really well. So I'm super happy about that. She also has Provoke in her kit, which is awesome, and a lot of utility. So I would say she's a very well designed unit, but I don't think it's a unit you must have. She's fine. She has a lot of stuff to basically any team. She's very versatile, but you don't need her. She doesn't enable a specific playstyle or a specific composition like a lot of supports do, and she does not really bring damage into the equation. So she's not a unit you need to progress. She's just a comfortable unit if you need a front line that will kind of try to protect your backline. So that's what she is basically. And if you're short on resources, she's an easy unit to skip. You definitely prefer to have supports and DPS units in most accounts, especially free to play ones. These is more of a comfort pick again. So that's what I wanted to say in that initial part. Then we can look at the pros and cons. They are fairly straightforward. So for the pros, we have that she has amazing survivability with Revolution 4, as I just said. She can provoke, which means she can run Myongol, which brings HP recovery block and energy recovery block. Not 100% reliable, but still decent. She has an early energy decrease, which is really important to have. It's not massive, but it's there, so it's not irrelevant. Is this 300 from the auto guard here? So it's okay. It's there. It won't be game changing, but a bit helpful, yes. Then we have defense decrease with this defense steal that she has on the other active skill, which is fine if you're running an attack scaling DPS unit. And then she has a massive, massive swiftness decrease. I think the highest in the game. The second one should be Revolution Bomb with 120 swiftness decrease. And the third one, likely XSR plus Machini, but nobody uses her, so that's okay. And she has 150. That's a lot. That's really a lot. And it's also listed as a con, so we're going to cover that in a second. But yeah, really, really good. I mean, there is a lot of stuff in this kit. Also, the attack decrease I did not mention, but it's decent as well. Can help with survivability in some scenarios. So nothing to say. I think she's a really, really good tank. In terms of cons, is that she needs Revolution 4. Before that, survivability is kind of an issue. Zero dupes, really garbage because of the 5-second duration on the auto guard. 3 red, borderline acceptable, but you still need support from the team, so I don't really like that. From orange 4 and above, monster. So yeah, we're going to expand more on dupes in a second. The second con is that she doesn't really protect allies that well. She has provoke, yes, but as we know, there are units that are immune to it. There are units that will jump at the start of the battle and just ignore Evelyn. So there are a lot of scenarios where provoke might fail or might not be enough to protect your team. It's still somewhat decent, and also the attack decrease from the passive is decent as well. The swiftness decrease might be decent. There are some units that would benefit from it, and we're going to talk about that in a second with the last con. But in general, she does not excel at protecting allies. You have to keep that in mind. She does provide some protection, is not 100% foolproof. There will be a lot of scenarios where that's not enough. Then with the last point, which is the same as the Pro, massive swiftness decrease. That is super important in a lot of scenarios, but it's also a downside if units that you're facing have long animation times because of the swiftness decrease, and they are invincible during those animation times. That's an issue, and it could lead to some timeouts. but it's not the end of the world. The most annoying unit is Revolution Bomb. Most of the other ones that have invincibility during animations are manageable. Revolution Bomb is manageable as well, but is a lot trickier. So keep that in mind. If you see that some fights are not going the way you think they should, then check out if some enemies have some really insane invincibility or immortality while in animation, and that could be the reason. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Then for the next section, we have the dupes. As I said, zero dupes is really weak because of the 5-second active skill duration. This is complete garbage. And at zero dupes and even 3 red, you would need to run Bari, most likely, as an ignition weapon set, because she might die while she's dashing to the enemy, because she only activates this one after she dashes to the enemy, activates the stance, provokes, and then she gets the buff. So in that window, she might die, and you want to run Barry for that. Then you have those 5 seconds at zero dupes, and then you need someone to protect her. There is really no way around it. She's kind of a mini stall tank, and that's about it. I didn't really like using her, mostly because I was using her in an energy decrease floor, and you don't really have a lot of options to keep units alive there, very limited. So it was tricky for that reason. If you have me in the friend list and you have a zero dupes Evelyn, if you can add her to the envoy list so that I can borrow her and try her now that I'm not anymore on that floor, it would be amazing. But just in general, is not like I wouldn't recommend zero dupes as a reasonable investment unit. You need support for her. Is not ideal. I would say though, as a pro, the 150 swiftness does not scale with level, so that would still be there. And also the 100 attack. So a lot of her value would stay the same. The defense still is lower, that's fine. The duration here is lower, so her own survivability kind of sucks, but that's not a big deal. So she could still work out. I just don't like her that much. You need to keep her alive. If you can do that, she's viable, but she won't be that solitary tank that she would otherwise be with Orange 4. That's the only thing. Then we have 3 red. It's obviously better because now the duration is 10 seconds and not 5. The issue remains because you would still need to keep her alive, but you have a few more options because now you can also run units that have an active skill cooldown decrease, and that would likely be enough with Anniversary Yura and with Albelda, for example, if you have them available. They could be perfectly fine, and they also integrate a bit more survivability here and there, so why not? But yeah, again, she needs support to stay alive, and that's a bit annoying, especially because you can do so much more when you just need to plug her in any team, and she does her own thing without needing anything else. That's a lot more comfortable. Having the need to add survivability to the team just for her, it's annoying for the most part. But yeah, that's it for 3 red. Usable, but again, annoying. Orange 4, massive for the Revolution 4 effect that we see here. So basically, when she falls below 20% HP, she becomes invincible for 3 seconds, and her auto guard cooldown instantly resets with a 10-second cooldown, which is the duration of the auto guard. That is insanity. You have basically 100% uptime on the 3% max HP per hit damage cap. So you will basically be unkillable. You also recover HP thanks to the Exodia equipment after the special move, I believe. So all of that together, it's a shit ton of survivability. Really, really good. Orange 4 is insane. You can add her anywhere you want, and she will survive like crazy. So super happy about that. Rainbow 5, on the other hand, is kind of garbage. The Revolution 5 effect is somewhat weak because it only works when the domain can still be expanded. The domain expands every time a special move or skill is used, and there is a max of 5 stacks. which means after 5 skills or special moves have been used, these effect from Revolution will never proc again. So no provoke, no critical hit resistance decrease, no critical damage decrease on enemies, nothing. And to me, that's a bit annoying, to be honest. It's really weird. Actually, to be honest, I did not check for the critical hit resistance and crit damage because these could probably be added as a permanent effect. I'm not sure about it, but definitely she does not provoke any longer once the domain is fully expanded. So yeah, that is weird. The only reason I'm saying this could still apply is because there is no duration written here, unless they imply it's still these 5 seconds. I don't know about that. I did not check. I will check it, but it's kind of irrelevant. It is a nice debuff for sure. It's basically 80% additional crit rate for your teammates, but it's not as important. If a unit can crit, you normally build some crit rate into them, so this won't be as good. But it's still there. It's still okay. So what to say? Revolution 5, kind of disappointing. Good in the early stage. So in the first 20 seconds of the battle, that will work okay. After that, kind of irrelevant. It's still massive for Myeongul, but I don't know. I was a bit disappointed by the fact that it does not proc consistently. And if we look at the actual substats, there is nothing there basically. Max cooldown reduction could seem decent because both of our active skills are somewhat fine. But this one, you don't need it because you have the active skill cooldown reset already in the passive. So you don't really care about that. And for this one, I mean, yes, it's definitely nice to have it. It's not a must. It's really, you can save your orange revolution mats and just skip that node altogether. I also did not invest into it. And the starting energy that you get from Rainbow 5 is also not that important because this special move doesn't do much. Other than sending enemies airborne, the rest is just whatever. The damage seems nice on paper, but is really nothing. The damage taken decrease seems nice on paper again, but it really does nothing. So it's it's a whatever special move, if I'm being honest. It's just not that good, which makes her great also in energy decrease floor. She's not relying on the special move anyway, only on active skills. So she's really valuable there as well. For ignition weapon is fairly simple. This is what I'm running actually. I still have not made any decent set. I still have not upgraded slot 4, which I think it's the only one that you really care about. I have 4 Myeongul pieces. This one I already had at plus 20. That's the only reason why it's at plus 20, but it doesn't really matter. I went for physical peers. You can go for whatever you want. This one, I would personally go effect hit because I would like to hit the defense steal and potentially also the knock up and the provokes. So I really like the effect hit. She does not have that in the substats, in the revolution substats. So I kind of want that here. So that it guarantees that I can land that stuff. Effect resistance already comes from the revolution subnodes. So that should be enough in a lot of cases. And you can always get some in the subnodes as well. So that's what I'm going for. And that's definitely what I'm going to level up. You can go Pierce every now and then if you want. It doesn't matter, but it's okay. So Myeongul would be my first pick because of the HP recovery block and energy recovery block it provides. But you can also run Doris if you want. She can use some swiftness, not too important, but at least she can then provide some utility to your teammates and also have the energy decrease when the barrier is broken. If you decide to place her in the back, she will get the barrier and that will break instantly because the damage taken cap does not apply to barriers. So it's good. She won't die, but she will apply the energy decrease. So why not? I guess it's a decent option. Then we have Rafflesia, but I mean, it works for now, but I would wait for the buff. After the buff, I think it could be a reasonable pick. I still prefer Miongo for the utility, but not Rihanna, Rafflesia might be valuable as well. Talking about Rihanna that I just said 2 seconds ago, can work. The issue is that the silence will overlap with the provoke duration. So I'm not really a fan of that. And the rest of the stuff it provides is not too important. Okay, status effect immunity 5 seconds every 10. It's nice. So for 50% of the battle, you will have status effect immunity. Okay. But the 300 energy every 10 seconds is kind of low. And even if it was higher, you don't need the special move, as we just said. So I'd rather not run that. Barry, I would only consider if she does not have this. If she has this, that's basically irrelevant. So Barry, I wouldn't bother. If she's below that, I definitely would run Barry, I would say. Otherwise, she just dies mid-jump, and I don't like that. You could run Runda as well, but I mean, I'm running Runda on a unit like Sharon, but I think Sharon is different because she will lose the shield, same as Evelyn. But the other units that you're giving the shield to will not. Or at the very least, for Sharon, the unit that she's linked to, so the carry, that you should place on the same row as Sharon, will not take damage because of the damage or direct. So the barrier will be there and she will gain a lot of energy. Like the linked ally will gain a lot of energy. So that's cool. For Evelyn, you can do it, but the units that will get the barrier could still take damage and they will probably lose it. And as we said before, she doesn't need the energy herself. She will lose the barrier anyway. So I don't know, not a lot of value to be gained from Runda. You can use it, but you're kind of losing out on Doris and Myeongol that I think are both superior options. For stats, I would say I already mentioned the affected and effect resistance substat. That's fine. Slot 5, physical peers. And you can look for some accuracy here and there if you want. Not a must, but you can always do that. And then for Revolution, this is going to be quick because there is literally nothing to do except for maybe a couple of points. And as you can see here, I did not invest on anything except for the first three. Well, the first two I always do because of the archive, but I will say this one is super important, will help you like dodge some status effects like paralysis, stun, etc., and also some debuffs. Evasion, only if you're running evasion build, which I'm not, but again, it's here for archive, so evasion you can skip. The second node in terms of importance, I would say, is this HP recovery per second. 2% might seem low, but she can take up to 3% max HP per hit. She already regen a lot of HP. Adding these on top is definitely a lot more comfortable, will make her durable also when there are units with a lot of hits. So I really liked it and I decided to pick it. So if you want, you can go for it. Again, it's not a must. The only must I would say is effect resistance. So in general, really cheap unit. Yeah. Don't go defense, doesn't matter. And cooldown reduction, you don't really benefit a lot, so I just waited. Maybe you could go recover received, to be honest, but it's only if you have a shit ton of resources, so I'd rather not. So that's it for evolution. For expected rank, I will say, as I wrote here, that I think she will be high ranker, probably lower end of high ranker, or higher end of ranker. So really good rank. I think she's valuable. She is solid. She will always be solid. I don't think there will be a case where this unit is not gonna provide value because she can survive no issues and will always survive no issues regardless of the deficit. The utility she provides is kind of good, so it will always be acceptable, something that you might want in a team. So I really think she's kind of future proof. So I like that. For the shitty pool, I already mentioned it before. If you need a tank desperately, yes, go ahead and pull her, but in general, she feels like a skippable one. because she doesn't change her account like crazy. She doesn't enable any playstyle. She's not a must for some DPSs. She's nothing like that. She's a comfortable pick that will stay there, hold your front line, and that's about it. So if that's what you need, go ahead and pull. If that's not, and also if you don't have Urek, for example, maxed out, the EX one is going to get a rerun in November or December, and you need 1400 tickets at least to get it maxed. So keep that in mind. It's really important, and he is a priority over Evelyn. So yeah, it's it's an easy skip, guys. Really, unless you desperately need this and you already have Urek EX maxed, you don't really need any DPSs, any support, then sure, why not? She's a comfort pick, but in all other scenarios, I would just skip her, to be honest. Here, I also added information on Cell and Sandus buff. You can read it. I will make another video going in detail about them after I try them more on some additional units. Stella, I'm not sure I will try it out because it's kind of a weird effect. We already know what it does, so probably don't even need to test it. I quickly tried it on one unit during the live, but again, it was working as I expected, so it was kind of disappointing. But yeah, more on them in a dedicated video. So guys, for now, that's all. Let me know in the comments how you feel about Evelyn, if you have any additional insight you want to share, and that's about it. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.